Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our live election show 2008, a Sonny Hersh multimedia production. I'm your host, Avi Meyers. We are here together with, I've got two wonderful co-hosts today. Usually we have Jim Nally over here, but he's in a family wedding in Boston, and we wish Jim well, and Mazel Tov. That's not Irish, but why not? But we have two really excellent co-hosts. We have Alderman Berny Stone of the 50th Ward, together with the 13th District County Commissioner, Larry Suffredin. And do we have our guest on the phone right now?
Took two of us to replace Jim, though.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Jim's a classy guy. What can I tell you?
Right.
So, do we have anybody on the phone, Sonny? We're going to have three calling guests today total. We're going to have Dorothy Brown, the county clerk. We're going to have Anita Alvarez, and we're going to have Judge William Timothy, also known as Billy O'Brien, who's the brother of Terry O'Brien. Let me remind all of you that you can go get Jewish Chicago you can read on the web now. It's at a few locations, and this is what it looks like. And, well, that's the cover anyway. So that you can pick up all over the place. It's free. And if you go to the TV show website, ntnm.org, you will be able to get a direct link to be able to read the entire paper. Now, on top of that, you know what? While we're waiting for the clerk to call in, early voting is till October 30th?
Through next Thursday, that's right. And the numbers are staggering of the number of people showing up in the city and the suburbs.
I think we had passed 1,000 long ago.
That's in the 50th Ward?
In the 50th
That's
Ward.
a tremendous amount.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying that all the voters were from the 50th Ward, but that's who had voted at Warren Park in the 50th Ward.
I think we're going to see one of the largest turnouts, Avi, in the history of Illinois because of our junior senator being on the ballot.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it looks now, I would bet we could be voting close to 70% of all those registered voters statewide.
That's pretty impressive. I'm trying to read the screen here. Does that mean we have our guest on? We have our guest on the phone?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Hi, Clerk Brown. This is Avi Meyers. How are you?
Hi, Avi. How are you?
Real good. Thank you so much for calling in. I know that you're going from church to church to church this morning, getting the vote out.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm over in the Polish community today.
So, I mean, how many churches are you going to wind up hitting today?
We'll probably hit about 5 today, and we'll do a couple of radio broadcasts as well.
So, plus the TV here, and that keeps it busy. We've also got Commissioner Suffredin and Alderman Stone here.
Hey, Dorothy.
Hi, Commissioner Suffredin and Alderman Stone. How are you today?
Good morning, Dorothy.
This is Commissioner Suffredin.
Isn't it?
Yes. Dorothy, this is Commissioner Suffredin. I see that you have Obama Brown signs all over the county. Have you put out about 4,000 of them?
Just about. We just wanted to make sure that we had very good coverage out there. Commissioner, we're not taking anything for granted. You know and I know that we've worked very hard in that office as clerk of the circuit court, and so but we didn't want to take anything for granted.
Now, you've actually got the second largest court system in the United States.
Yes, it is. It's the second largest court system in the United States, and we're looking forward to electronic filing, electronic tickets, e-summonses, e-warrants, and all of those kinds of things in our next administration.
So basically, you're going to continue the computerization is what you're looking to do?
Absolutely. We're going to continue to march into the 21st century. And we're just going to take it to a new level because we want to have 21st century courtrooms. We want the judges to operate off computers on their benches. We would like for the attorneys to have computers on their tables as well as the lists as right in front of the judge so that they can all operate off of electronic images versus having to take the paper to and from the courtroom.
Dorothy, you also have been working very hard with the people who are in the court system in foreclosures. Can you tell us a little bit about the outreach you've been doing to help people who've come to court in the foreclosure crisis?
Absolutely. 2 Saturdays ago, we had a foreclosure summit at the New City King College, and that was really, really heartwarming because people who came, we not only had individuals there to talk to them about what to do once you go into foreclosure, but we also had people there to talk to them about how to stay out of foreclosures, how to restructure your loans, how to build your credit, and And also we have banks there to give people mortgages. We are planning to do additional foreclosure summits, Commissioner, on the north side and on the west side and the south suburbs because we want to make sure that we are helping these people.
Dorothy, one of the things the city has done is we've just passed a law, an ordinance, which makes it incumbent upon every owner of multi-unit buildings to give notice to tenants in the event he is a defendant in a foreclosure suit. So the minute they file the suit and serve the owner, he must give notice to the tenants that he is the defendant in a lawsuit. So that will be what at least will be advising the tenants that the building in which they're a resident is the subject of a foreclosure suit, so they won't be put out into the street without even knowing the fact that there's a foreclosure pending.
Well, I applaud the city council for doing that because so many people are being put out not knowing that the landlord was in foreclosure. You know that foreclosures have quadrupled. Since 2004, we were at 15,000 in 2004. As of August of this year, we're already at 28,000, and we're looking at probably running at a rate to be at 43,000 by the end of the year. So a lot of people are hurting.
Yes.
So the Illinois Department, I forget the exact name, but we've covered this before with you. The Illinois, you're trying to integrate to get all the different technologies of all the various agencies. The Illinois
Integrated. You know, I am the vice chair of the Illinois Integrated Justice Implementation Committee, and I'm also the chairman of the Cook County. So we are working hard to make sure that all of the various systems are integrated, from the police department to the court system, state attorney, public defender, as well as the Illinois State Police and any other agency, the Secretary of State, any other public safety agency. We want our sisters to talk to each other. We want to go inter-county, work with DuPage County as well.
Are you finding challenges in terms of, are some of the challenges breaking down in terms of the differences between computers and computer language and the agencies? I mean, that's a massive job to undertake.
Yeah, and you're actually fading out a little bit, Aubrey.
Oh, sorry about that. No, I was just asking if, there's a number of challenges you have in order to do that, with different people being on different terminologies or computer systems.
Yes, there are a number of challenges. But what we have done with the Integrated Criminal Justice Committee, we have passed a policy of standards. And when you actually implement a system, you must use Justice XML language so that when the time comes to integrate, there is a common language that permits us to all integrate our systems.
Very good, and that's something that's, I guess, is an ongoing battle. That's not going to happen in a day or two or a year or two.
Absolutely not. It is an ongoing battle. So that's why we have to come up with common language, because everyone is moving along on their own, wheels, if you will, and periodically there's a time to integrate. For instance, we did an integration with the sheriff so that when they first summons us, we no longer have to wait for them to bring the actual summons and enter that information ourselves. We are connected to their system now, so that their system uploads to our system, still gets the summonses, and we can actually look at them and verify that they inputted the information correctly. The information gets into our system quicker. The attorneys are able to see whether or not they're properly served individuals, and we can move forward with the cases in a more timely fashion.
And, of course, that also means things like the policemen will be able to see certain things in their cars, when they pull somebody over. I mean, there's numerous benefits to this sort of thing.
Exactly. And especially with the electronic warrant, that system is really good. We're piloting it in the city of Chicago, and that system is very good because we are forwarding warrants to the city of Chicago electronically, and information can go out to the police cars. They can have the proper information to act on. And in addition to that information going out to the police cars, and the information also comes back in, the police department is able to upload to our system, indicating to us that it's been actually served. We're also able to let them know when it's been quashed, so that we're operating off of timely, accurate information. We won't be unfairly arrested or not arrested, depending on inaccurate information.
Dorothy, you're completing your second term as clerk?
I am completing my second term as clerk, and it's been a very, very good 2 terms. We have been, it's taken a lot of hard work. We've spent, sometimes have had to be up like 20, 21 hours in order to just make sure that we were getting on top of a lot of the things that were not fixed when I took office.
So then when you're elected, you'll be serving your 3rd term.
Yes, sir. I will be going into my 3rd term.
Very good. Any last messages you'd like to give to the voters? Reasons to vote for you? Of course, I happen to know you're endorsed in Jewish Chicago. I do know the publisher. You let me know that.
I want to thank Jewish Chicago for its great endorsement. I really want to congratulate you on this show this morning, educating the voters about getting out and exercising their right to vote. I just want to say to all of your audience that it's important that we get out and vote. My punch number is 35. Please re-elect me so I can continue to bring the office into the 20th century and give you the kind of court system that you deserve. We're on our way. We've done a lot of things. We have a lot more things to do. And also, of course, don't forget the entire Democratic ticket, especially the top of the ticket, Barack Obama for President of the United States.
Very good. Well, we want to wish you a lot of luck, Clerk Brown. Punch 35 for the clerk. And good luck with all the churches and radio shows and everything else in the campaign.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Alderman.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, and good luck again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I think she's going to win by a huge amount, as I think most Democrats, with Barack Obama's coattails being there. That's why I mentioned that she has put these signs all over Cook County and has tied herself very closely to Senator Obama.
That's definitely a smart thing to do.
I mean,
you mean like Daily Stone signs that I always use?
Right, Daily Stone. I'm telling you, you put it the right way, because if you would have said Stone Daily, that just doesn't sound right. One note to the guys in the booth: when we've got the television guests on, go back and forth a little bit between the live pictures and the guests. Got it. Okay.
Were we getting feedback on air, or is that just?
She had her TV up while she was talking to us.
Okay.
Oh.
She was watching us live. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think the turnout is going to be such that Mike Madigan, as Speaker of the House, could pick up an additional 3 or 4 House seats, and in the Senate they could pick up 2 or 3 additional Senate seats, which will mean that they may be veto-proof, both the House and the Senate, over the governor, which could change the whole dynamic that we've watched in Springfield.
Now, is 60% the veto number in Springfield?
They need 70 House votes to override the governor.
That would be 60%.
And they need 36. The Senate already has that. They have 37.
So that is 60% is the veto number.
So, and the Speaker, I think, has got a number of races that seem to be going his way all across the state, and very few places where any of his incumbents are in trouble.
Well, it depends on who the president of the Senate is. Now that our good friend has resigned, and
that's right,
Emil Jones.
Yeah.
With Emil Jones, and Emil Jones III is running for the Senate against Ray Waddingley, the old clown who.
Yeah,
so he should win that one.
I mean, literally
he's not
a clown.
Going to be president.
Right. No, I think we have from Northsiders. We have a number of good candidates that are out there, including Senator John Cullerton, who's really taken the lead and has been out there doing things. But Senator Jeff Schoenberg, Senator Terry Link, Senator Ira Silverstein have all indicated an interest in this. And I know Senator Schoenberg this week, I called him, and he was out in Rock Island campaigning with Marty Mulcahy, who is running against an appointed Republican Senator Bevins. And it's a place where the Democrats think Barack Obama will help them. they tell me what's going on there is the TV ads in Iowa and Wisconsin, which cover the TV channels that are in this district because it goes all the way up to Galena, are helping the Democrats running on the Illinois side because the people are seeing all these ads.
As a matter of fact, my understanding also is that both Schoenberg and I guess Silverstein also are in places like Ohio and Pennsylvania ringing Jewish doorbells for Obama.
Right. Jeff left early this morning to go to Ohio, and I know Ira has been there. They're working the suburban areas of Cleveland where there is a large Jewish population. I know they've been going to a lot of the synagogues because there's still, as we were talking before we went on the air, there's still a lot of misinformation about Barack Obama, people who still believe he's a Muslim. I mean,
misinformation in a political campaign, really?
Yeah. Well, I thought the funniest cartoon I saw that related to that was one where the cartoonist talked about this bumper sticker that's been out that said, Obama is a community organizer like Jesus, and Palin is a governor like Pontius Pilate. And he says to his friend this, and the other guy says, oh my goodness, I didn't know that Jesus was a Muslim. So, I think the misinformation that's out there is something we've got to overcome. But these races that we have here in Cook County are exciting.
There's been misinformation on some of those races too.
In politics, I am so shocked.
We've got Anita Alvarez calling us shortly, and we can talk about the state's attorney's race. But I want to remind people: Joe Berrios is up for re-election to the Board of Review. He has two opponents who seemingly have disappeared. Eugene Moore is up for re-election as the recorder of deeds, and he has some opponents that, again, we haven't seen, and I don't think that there's going to be much of a chance for them to win. We've also got a number of these judge races. Retention we're going to talk about with Judge O'Brien.
Right.
But, all of the judge races in what should be contested, there only are 3 contested races.
And that's Supreme Court? No, that's Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court is not contested. Yeah. None of the races that you would vote in the city of Chicago are contested. The 3 contested races, one is out in the western suburbs where Pat Rogers, who has been the Lyons Township Supervisor, it's a sub-circuit, is running, and that encompasses Oak Park and
right. I am told we do have a guest on the phone, and before I say hello, I just want to remind the guys in the control room, back and forth between the guest and the live, and if you want to do split screens, that's fine, but it is a pleasure and privilege to have somebody call in who's in an extremely busy schedule right now, the Democratic candidate for State's Attorney, Anita Alvarez. How are you today?
I'm running around, Avi.
I believe it. We're here together with Commissioner Larry Suffredin and Alderman Berny Stone.
Hi, Anita. How are you?
Anita.
Hey, Larry. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Anita.
Hi.
So let's talk about the campaign. I mean, when I was talking to Sally Daly Hunt, who's been absolutely great to work with, your publicity person, she's trying her best to squeeze this in here and this in there. I mean, how many different places are you going to be at today?
Avi, I can hardly hear you. I'm in my cell phone going from one thing to another, but I've got a very, very busy schedule. I've got about 5 different things that I'm doing, and it always seems like I have 5 minutes to get from one place to the other,
No, I hear you. So,
Anita, you had your debates this week, and your opponent, your primary opponent, seems to want to just misdirect the attention. Can you just talk about the reasons why you should be the state's attorney?
Right, you're absolutely right. He's trying to, I think, mislead the voters into talking about things that don't even concern our office, or pretty much blaming me for everything. I think what's important for the voters to know, though, is that I am the most qualified person for this job, and that I am someone who not only knows the position, but also knows that there are things that we should do better, can do better, and I am in the perfect position to implement some changes. I understand the concerns of the voters of Cook County, and violence and gun violence is something that has increased. And unlike my opponent, who's on record saying that more guns equal less crime, I certainly don't believe that that's the case.
Absolutely. Having fought him and debated him on gun issues on the county board, his attitude towards public safety is reckless. That's the only word to use.
Well, I understand that during the debate he tried to accuse you of having something to do with the Burge case when you were still in law school.
Exactly. He was accusing me of everything. I think the only thing he didn't accuse me was being, as if you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's accusing me of everything. And again, I think he's doing that just to mislead the voters.
Of course, if you have another debate, maybe he will accuse you of being responsible for the national debt.
Well, Anita, as you know, this is a huge county, and good luck in crisscrossing it in this last week and a half, and we'll look forward to talking with you when you're the state's attorney.
Oh, thanks so much. Yes, I am counting the days until this part is over, because, you know, I'm anxious to get back to work.
Well, I think it's important. You were the number 3 person in the state's attorney's office. You were there over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, as you were telling me, you actually took off for the campaign. So you haven't actually been working at the job for a bit at this point.
Right. Yeah, I've been on a leave of absence, so you know there wouldn't be any kind of accusations of campaigning on county time, and so I have been off for a while. But that's why I'm anxious to get back to do the job I want to do it and implement some changes.
What is your punch number?
I'm sorry?
What is your punch number?
Oh, my punch number is 32.
32, very good. So, by the way, as for those of you who haven't seen Jewish Chicago, of course, you can find Anita Alvarez as one of the pictures on the cover. And, of course, we endorsed her in the issue, and we want to wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you so much.
We know you're going from place to place, so as much as we'd like to talk to you longer, I don't want to, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
All right, thanks, Ali. Thank you so much, and thanks for your support. And it's always fun to be on your show.
Best of luck to you, Anita.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Anita Alvarez, and I'm pretty sure she's going to wind up being our next state's attorney, I would think.
I'm going to be surprised if Tony Pareca gets more than 25% of the vote.
You know what? I said the same thing. I predicted that Anita would be over 70. As a matter of fact. You know what? We've got a surprise call I didn't expect to have today, because we had talked about maybe him calling in, but I didn't know he was calling. We don't have a slide up. But we've got Senator Ira Silverstein on the phone right
fantastic.
now. Senator Silverstein, how you doing?
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Ira. How are you?
Good. First, I want to start by saying I know you've been talking about the foreclosures earlier, and I find it rather puzzling that you're showing a rather concerned look for taxpayers when all of you up there, politicians, of course, you've done nothing but vote for tax increases.
Wait a minute, Sonny. This is not a scheduled guest. This isn't Ira. Who are you, sir?
It's not Ira.
It's not Ira.
That's not
What?
Ira.
We're not taking calls from
Public.
From the public. As a matter of fact, we'll have William Timothy O'Brien at 11:01. But in the meantime, so let's get back to talking about.
Well, first of all, let's talk about that. He said we all voted for. I would point out that I voted against the tax increase last year, which the public is now getting on their tax bill this year. I voted against the tax increase last year. I don't know who this individual is, but obviously he lied to whoever's taking the calls in order to get. He misled whoever's receiving the calls in telling him that he was Ira Silverstein, because he certainly wasn't Senator Silverstein.
Let's just double check. Did he say he was Ira Silverstein, guys?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Well, he lied.
Well, one of the things.
You think Ira sent him?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. What he's confusing, though, is foreclosures and people who are in distress over the tax bill that's due November 3rd. The foreclosure crisis is really well beyond the reach of the Chicago City Council, the Cook County Board. It's a national epidemic. I mean, the fact that we have 19 judges hearing cases and they talk about 42,000 cases being filed in Cook County tells you that this is not just localized or caused by one particular problem. I think that what you're going to see as the Board of Review, and we're going to, in Rogers Park, the Board of Review is open until December 1st. We're trying to get people to go back there. The mayor this week was encouraging people to go to the Board of Review. We want to protect as many homes as possible from tax foreclosure. That means not paying their taxes and having tax sales. But, I think that at this point, we just have to become a community and help our neighbors. And hopefully we're all going to work together to get this done.
As a matter of fact, the county commissioner has come out with people to help the constituents in my ward on tax review, and we've always tried to help people.
I know you've had seminars in your office with them.
And we're going to be having more.
But you see, this is part of the misleading of the general public. They get individuals like this who lie to get onto the program, then throw out misleading statements, and it's really a shame that this comes about, and then of course some people actually believe what these people say.
Right.
Yeah, it's well. Let me ask
you know that the county represents less than 10% of the tax bill that the people are receiving. The city represents 20% of the tax bill. So in other words, between the city and the county, it's less than 30% of the tax bill. That actually 50% of that tax bill is the Chicago schools, the higher education. That most of the tax bill actually goes to education.
Well, and Avi, this is the reason I'm for a constitutional convention. We've got to change the educational article of the Illinois Constitution to make the state primarily and majority responsible for the funding of schools. Right now, that's why we're always 48th in all these lists, and thank God for Louisiana and Mississippi being smaller in their participation in public education. We also have got to change our income tax structure and our property tax structure to reflect this. I give Senator Meeks a lot of credit for the attention he draws to this. It was 1992 that we had a constitutional amendment to try and change the way schools were funded that lost by 2 percentage points, but had 1.8 million people vote in favor of it and 1.5 million vote against. But the reason it didn't pass is it needed 60%, and that's something you wouldn't have to do at a constitutional convention presented the amendment.
Right. Now,
remember also that the Constitution provides that it shall be the obligation of the states to fund public education.
Right. It says the word primarily, and everybody thought that meant the majority until the Illinois Supreme Court in 1990 ruled that primarily didn't mean majority.
Yeah.
I remember at one time it was supposed to be 50-50. I remember, as a matter of fact, Senator Berman, our former state senator,
Mr.
always
Education.
talking about that.
Right.
And
it was his amendment.
As time went, well, we'll get the lottery to help education. And, of course, I just took money from somewhere else, and it became a property tax thing. Now, the property tax is going to get even worse, won't it, in the next couple of years, because the way that the breaks are structured with the cap.
Right. Well, we're seeing that right now because Chicago was at the end of the 3-year cycle with the work the legislature did. And so unless you've been in your home 10 years and longer and have a household income of under $100,000, you're not getting the kind of breaks you saw before, which is the reason we're hearing from people whose taxes have dramatically increased and they don't know how to pay.
And even though the value of real estate has gone down this year.
Yeah.
But the real estate doesn't actually affect this year. I mean, what happened 2 years ago is kind of what happens.
Because we're paying in arrears.
Last year's tax.
Right.
Year's tax.
That's why the Board of Review is opening for the 2008 valuation, the value of your property this year, and that's why we're encouraging people to go there because they're going to reduce.
It's so important that they go to the Board of Review now, because people don't understand that if they don't go before, I believe it's December 1st.
First, that's the deadline, right.
If they don't go before December 1st, particularly in Rogers Park, which is north of Devon,
right,
then they're out of luck.
And that's going to be out of luck for 2 or 3 years.
No, at least
for another year. But the problem is, once you get behind, it's hard to catch up. And for some people, they'll be forced to sell.
Yeah. Right. Well, we're going to get a little bit into the right now. We're going to talk. We've got Judge William Timothy O'Brien. Hey, Billy, on the phone, and he's on the ballot as William Timothy. Punch number 230, is it? Are you there, Judge O'Brien?
Hello.
Hi, it's Avi Meyers. How are you?
Good morning, Commissioner, and good morning, Alderman.
Hi, Judge.
Good
I'm
morning,
a
Billy.
first-time caller, long-time listener.
Well, we're glad you're here, and we're glad that Avi points out the yes vote for you and other judges running for retention.
Correct, yes.